Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. A little bit more autodidact up in this piece in the form of their Irradiated Sands. I was gonna make a joke. Sounds like a Code and Cambria song, but I think all their names of their beers come from song titles. I think. Could be wrong. I know they're big into music. The Rons down there at Autodidact. Anyway, diving this sucker comes courtesy of my boy Vin. Vin, he hooked up a bit of log jam and he dropped a couple Autodidact cans on me. Here we go. Here we go. Give it a pour. And let's read some story time. Double IPA with Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy hops, 8.8% alcohol by volume. They don't do anything else on here. It's from 6.6 to it's 6.18, so we're talking about 12 days old in this sucker. And it is sand dunes with that negative space logo. I dig so much. I always love their cans. Weird head on that sucker. Look at that head. We'll give a rocket back and forth. Maybe you can see a little bit better. Really weird head. It's got really no kind of softness or foaminess to it. It almost looks like when you add an adjunct to Hazie's, coconut, peaches, stuff like that. That tends to dissipate the head pretty quickly. So that's not a great sign for this beer starting off. So we'll give it a whirl, see how the head kind of comes back. Give it a good whirl there. It's quite a bit better, but that real first pour had me a little bit going. So that's what the head's supposed to look like, even though you can't see down this way. Like I can. But it has this rich, kind of like, again, I've used this term sparingly, but alien skin kind of vibe to it. Almost like it's orange with a little bit of semi-opaqueness to it, and this slightest tinge towards like gray, like the slightest tinge. Some IPAs have that, and actually a lot of times I have beers like that. They tend to be really good. But yeah, I mean, outside of the head looking a little bit wonky, looks the part. It's good nose. Not a big nose on this. I wonder if this is suffering from some kind of oxidation or something like that. But I'm getting fruit flavors. I'm getting tropical fruit. I'm getting citrus. I'm getting those things. But nowhere near what a 8 and plus change, 8.8% double IPA. We're almost in triple IPA range here. Yeah. Everything's there. You know, that fruitiness, that juiciness, that citrus, that pineapple, that tropical fruit, it's all there, but it smells more like a session IPA aromatically than a big old double. So it smells good, just doesn't smell as big and as boisterous as it should. Let's dive in. Cheers. It's pretty tasty. There's something weird going on with this beer, though. The mouthfeel is completely bunk. Yeah, it's really, really weird. Because the flavor's there. I think it's a combination. I think there's some weird form of oxidation going on here. It doesn't taste that unvibrant, is the best way I could put it. Those are English words, right? I mean, that pineapple, that fruitiness is there, and it's much bigger than the nose lead you to believe. Double IPA level, you do get a bit of seltzer bittering on here, so there is a carbonic thing that I don't think would show its face as much if this thing had mouthfeel to it. It's just somehow lost its carbonation. Maybe the absolute smallest seal break on this, that's probably where I'm getting at here. So it's expelling oxygen without letting a ton in. That would be my guess. Because it doesn't taste like a classically oxidized beer. It tastes like an undercarbonated, or lack of carbonated, loss of carbonation. Like, almost like, okay, here you go. Everybody, I think, can relate to this. You know, sometimes when I do beer reviews, I do them like bang, bang, bang. I do them right in a row. I don't do a beer review, drink the beer, wait a while, do another one. I do bang, bang, bang. So I'll take a beer, and I'll put it in my little mini fridge here, and then when all the reviews are over, the 2 or 3 I do, I'll sit and I'll drink them, probably in the succession in which I reviewed them, which is smallest to largest. And then every now and then I'll drink one beer, maybe I'll skip the middle one, I'm done for the night, I don't want another beer, and I'll let it sit. And if I go back later that night, or even early in the morning if it was later night, and it still has carbonation, but not a ton of it, that's the vibe I'm getting off of it. You know, that's the vibe, that it just lost its carbonation. Not necessarily oxidized all that much. Sure, you're going to get a bit of oxidation whenever there's that passing of gases. It's a weird way to put it, but you know what I mean. So honestly, I'm putting this on the sealer, the can sealer. It's got to be. I don't see any other way you get this. I don't see how you make the beer like this and put it in a can. I think you put it in a can, and then somehow you have like the slightest pinhole leak somewhere. I wish it was still sealed so I could squeeze it. But that's it, man. It's weird. I'm going to post this a review regardless. I think it's just a cool conversation to have about the mechanics of sealing beer, because I don't think this has anything to do with Autodidact. I'm going to post the same day of another beer I did from them, which I also got from Vin, which is absolutely fantastic. And just say, you know, sometimes stuff like this happens, you know, especially smaller breweries. You know, I'm assuming they have a canning service come in, can for them. You know, every now and then stuff's not perfect, you know, and you can get these little weird anomalies from time to time. And I absolutely 100% think that's the case with this beer. So I'm not going to sit here and say one of the better ones, this, that, and the other thing. Just cut chases and say, if you go to a brewery that's small and new and you get a can to go, or you get a beer and there's something amiss from what you typically have from that place, chalk it up as random act of insert your deity of choice here, and go back. Now, if more often than not stuff sideways, you know, you vote with your dollars, but don't let a little kind of sideways from time to time deter you. So there you go. Review in the books. Hopefully enjoyed. Massive Beers if you want to check me out into social media stuff. Beer Massive. Podcasting stuff. Hopefully enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoyed a small local brewery right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.